In our top stories tonight, public consultations on the common entrance examination to start next month. The Attorney General responds to an attack on a Canadian visitor. The SPEIGHTSTOWN bypass highway to be renamed. And in sports, Wales and Paradise extend their lead in the BFA Premier League.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC Newsnight, starting now.
Very good evening. I'm Lisa Broom. Thanks for joining us. We start tonight with news that government will be having public consultations from next month as it looks for a suitable replacement for the common entrance examination. The disclosure from Minister of Education Santia Bradshaw during debate on the estimates of expenditure. Our Ryan Broom has been following that debate in the lower house, and he joins us live now with more details. Ryan?
Well, good evening, Lisa. Now, the estimates debate mirrors the process started last year, where ministers and their technocrats are being directly questioned by parliamentarians. Now, first up was Minister Bradshaw, and she has made it clear she hopes 2020 will be the last sitting for the 11+ exam.
I want the input of the wider Barbados, because this is not a decision for me as minister or the leader of the party or any of us as ministers alone to make. This is something which obviously the entire population needs to weigh into as well. One of the good things so far is that we have a number of people from Barbados who are educators across the world who have been reaching out and offering support for this transition. They're excited because they have come through the educational system in Barbados, but they, like many of us, understand the deficiencies, and they have been part of models of education that they have seen working, particularly the middle schools and the high schools, and they have a voice in terms of helping us to shape the type of policy that will come to the stream.
Now, Ms. Bradshaw says they have started to assess a number of secondary schools to get them ready. And the Education Minister has also revealed that government will be investing significant finances to introduce a robotics program in schools from September.
Where we are prepared to invest this year the sum of $5.651 million in not only robotics equipment, but ensuring that robotics is placed across all of our secondary schools. We introduced the pilot in the nursery schools and also in some of the primary schools. We will also be capturing the attention of students at the special schools, and the intention is to also roll out robotics clubs across all of the secondary institutions as well.
Now, Lisa, we're also being told devices will be provided for teachers and students. And a rigorous training and retraining program of educators is also set to begin in the coming weeks. Now, $2.2 million of the total investment will go to ensuring there is adequate Wi-Fi connectivity in all schools.
Because it is one thing to have technology, and we've been very good as a country in terms of receiving assistance from other territories, but oftentimes we have not been equally good at making sure that that technology is put to good use. And so we have had donations from the People's Republic of China in relation to desktop computers and laptops. But we have also found that in many cases those devices on coming to office had not been fully deployed. And one of the major reasons was because we had not done the cabling and the Wi-Fi connectivity across the various campuses.
And providing more nutritious meals to school children, as well as sourcing local produce for the school meals department, were raised. The House heard the department has been reorganizing its operations to cater to the new demands. The update has come from Acting Manager of the department, Don Brown, in response to a question posed by opposition leader Bishop Joseph Atherley.
We have tried where possible to reduce the amount of items that we are using that are being imported. We are looking more at using local products and locally produced products. We have been working with the BADMC where we're getting a lot of our vegetables and such from them, so that we're using more locally grown vegetables and products that they also produce, which are more nutritionally beneficial to our children, and also allow us, again, to use local products.
Now, Lisa, if the area where they're speaking looks a little different, just a reminder that this 65th sitting of the 2018 to 2023 House of Assembly has been taking place at a new temporary location, Worthing Corporate Centre in Worthing, Christchurch. Now, that building previously housed Resolution Life Insurance. Speaker of the House, His Honour Arthur Holder, says the new venue will be the home of parliamentary activity until the environmental issues at the Parliament buildings in Bridgetown are resolved.
The move to this location is to ensure that the environmental problems are satisfied, that they are fixed, and that they are fixed thoroughly, so that when we return to those buildings, that everything will be in shape for the conduct of the people's business. So we are here temporarily, then to give the buildings enough time for consultation, for quotations, for expressions of interest, and to ensure that all the problems are remedied.
And some parliamentary representatives shared their thoughts on the new venue with the media earlier this morning.
We come here to work really hard, whether the environment is appropriate, as appropriate as we would like it or not. We are here to serve the people, and that we shall do these next few days.
We would have needed to address the issue of what was happening with the Parliament. It affected staff members. It affected parliamentarians, and I think that this is a good move to allow us to take the time to finally deal with the Parliament buildings and make sure that those historic buildings are preserved, but at the same time create a healthy environment for everyone.
Well, that's it for now, Lisa. Debate on that education had wrapped up earlier this evening, and debate on the estimates of expenditure continues tomorrow, and we will continue to report on those sessions. It's back to you.
Thanks very much, Ryan, for that comprehensive report. Attorney General Dale Marshall has condemned Saturday's home invasion, which has left a Canadian visitor nursing a gunshot injury. In that incident, 2 men stormed a residence in Diamond Close, Ealing Park in Christchurch, where 65-year-old Kenneth Elliott was staying. The AG spoke about the situation at a branch meeting at the Grantley Adams Memorial School last evening. Sharika Griffith has those details.
According to police, during the incident, a struggle ensued and Elliott was shot in his left shoulder while the men ran off. Attorney General Dale Marshall says such incidents could negatively affect Barbados' attractiveness as a tourist destination, but he believes what's more troubling is that the attack occurred in a residential area.
Barbados cannot afford to have any negative references made about how safe or unsafe. In fact, Barbados has always been felt to be a safe place for visitors. And this kind of callous conduct on the part of a few hooligans can threaten the livelihood and the lifeblood of our country. But the second thing is that it's clear that these people are happy to go anywhere to perpetrate a crime. So I want to tell you that while this happened to tourists, it could have happened to you or me.
During the branch meeting, the Attorney General also touched on the topic of murder accused who are granted bail. He says his government has passed legislation so that going forward, such individuals must spend at least 2 years in prison before they can be eligible. However, he says that law is not retroactive.
So somebody who was charged ever since with a murder offense, with murder but has not yet been tried, there's a good chance that they might get bail. But what is my response? Our response as a government has been to appoint 3 additional High Court judges for criminal matters. We've appointed more High Court judges, but we've appointed 3 additional High Court judges just to deal with criminal matters. So instead of just 2 judges, we now have 5. And the Prime Minister and I have indicated to the authorities that we expect that all of the murder trials are going to be given priority.
Mr. Marshall says government has also recently hired 4 new prosecutors and plans to hire 2 more in the next financial year. These new hires are also expected to help expedite the more than 80 murder cases waiting to be tried. Sharika Griffith, CBC News.
The Speightstown Bypass Road is to be renamed in honor of the first black Speaker of the House of Assembly. MP for St. Peter, Colin Jordan, made the announcement during the Pride of St. Peter Awards as the parish recognized those who have contributed to its development.
The Royal Barbados Police Force Band serenades the packed pews of the St. Peter Parish Church during the parish's inaugural Pride of Barbados Awards ceremony. Several community leaders are acknowledged for their outstanding contribution to the parish. MP for St. Peter Colin Jordan congratulates and thanks them for their selflessness and says regathering celebrations aim to reignite Barbadians' passion for nation building.
Barbados needs us now. We are in a situation, socially, economically, in many different spheres, spiritually as well, where all of us need to recommit in whatever area we are called to activity, to action. And this call is meant to be a rallying call for all of us. We expect, even as we, those of us called and elected to lead, recommit ourselves, we expect that as we lead by example, that you will join with us.
Minister Jordan also announced his plans to rename the SPEIGHTSTOWN Bypass Road in honor of Barbados' first black Speaker of the House, Sir Kenmore Husbands.
The Prime Minister and her cabinet thought it fitting that as St. Peter celebrated its month, and as that month coincided quite nicely with our theme of celebrating heritage, but also as African Awareness Month, that celebrating the contribution of the first black Speaker of the House of Assembly was something that we had to do.
The road will be officially renamed on Friday with an unveiling ceremony for the newly erected signage. Aaliyah Briggs, CBC News.
Thanks, Aaliyah. And we're also hearing tonight that after a 2-year absence, Broadway to Barbados returns for 1 week of performances. The show begins tonight at the Frank Cullimore Hall. The proceeds will benefit the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. Producer of Broadway to Barbados, Neil Berg, says performances will take the audience on a musical journey through the history of rock and roll. Well, now in its 8th year, the Broadway to Barbados Charitable Trust has raised over $2 million to aid the QEH's Medical Intensive Care Unit, the Accident and Emergency Department, Pediatrics and the Respiratory Unit. Cast member Joey Calvary says he is proud to be part of the fundraising effort. Several law enforcement officers have been reminded about the critical importance of leadership, even in cases where they are not the heads of those entities. It came as the Regional Security System, RSS, hosted a closing ceremony for its Executive Development course at the Cave Hill School of Business. Some 24 participants from Barbados, Antigua, Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Kitts and Nevis and St. Lucia were involved in that course. Deputy Executive Director of the RSS, Graham Archer, told the participants managing other people first starts with the ability to manage themselves and acknowledging any flaws or issues that exist.
How your subordinates see you, in large measure, will determine how you can manage them. And if they don't see you in a good light, you will not be able to manage them well. So try to manage yourself first, and then see how you can manage other people well.
Still to come, police and armed forces clash in Haiti, and Wales and Paradise register wins in BFA football. Here's a tip from Cooperators General Insurance.
This tip of the day is brought to you by Cooperators General Insurance Company Limited. Insurance the way you want it to be.
Marijuana is not always what it seems. It can be laced with other substances, including cocaine, without your knowledge. This tip is brought to you in association with the National Council on Substance Abuse, promoting drug awareness.
On the heels of the 31st Intersessional CARICOM Heads of Government meeting, there has been yet another call for unity across the region. This time, it's from priest in charge of the Our Lady Queen of the Universe Catholic Church, Monsignor Vincent Harcourt Blackett. He made the call as the St. Lucia Association of Barbados held a special service at the church to mark the island's 41st year of independence. Monsignor Blackett says over the years, the people of St. Lucia have made a tremendous contribution to Barbados.
Too often we hear people talk about the people from the islands, the Low Islanders and things like that. And I think the time has come when we have to stop that. We are all brothers and sisters. We all have the same background, and therefore we need to support, to build up and to celebrate each other and with each other.
At least one person has been killed and 13 hurt in a gun battle between police and armed forces near the presidential palace in Haiti's capital, Port-au-Prince. Al Jazeera's Leah Harding reports.
This was meant to be the first of several days of carnivals and celebration, but it turned into a gun battle. Off-duty police officers were protesting over low pay and the firing of 5 officers who tried to form a union. Close by, locals prepared to celebrate the lead-up to the Christian fasting period of Lent. Some supported the protest.
We don't want carnival. Second, we support the police protests who are demanding a union. The lack of security in this country is the fault of the president. He uses the army to destroy the police.
As people crowded into a square in front of the presidential palace, gunshots and tear gas. It's not clear who fired first, the police or the military. A stage built by the army and guarded by soldiers was set on fire. It was the most violent fighting in Haiti since protesting began at the end of last year. The police say the government should not be funding carnivals, while their pay, conditions, benefits, and jobs are being cut.
Firefighters in Antigua and Barbuda have welcomed the addition of 2 refurbished fire tenders. ABS TV's Jamie Rocher reports on how this new development will improve the overall efficiency of the fire brigade.
Firefighting is a difficult and dangerous job. It becomes even more challenging if necessary resources are limited. This is why Fire Chief Elvis Weaver has agreed to meet us on a Sunday to share his excitement about 2 more trucks being added to the fire brigade's fleet of tenders. The government has purchased the refurbished trucks from English company Angloco Limited.
Everybody knows that I've been pushing very hard for us to get new equipment, and fire truck is our main tool to carry out our duties, and we are very thankful that we have gotten the first 2, and we are hopeful that some new ones will come soon.
He says a certified engineer will visit next week to inspect the trucks, which are manufactured by Mercedes-Benz.
They have already instructed us not to use the trucks until the engineer arrives. Then he will carry out checks, he will carry out training for all the firefighters and the trucks before we put them into service.
One of the trucks will remain at St. John's, while the other is earmarked for All Saints.